Right. So this is actually today we are going to discuss this last topic of this sixth. I mean, not exactly last, but yeah. So in sixth chapter, there are this. It is talking about the different kind of things which, in general, we have this distance formula. Then we have angles, and then areas. So this concept we are trying to extend it to the surfaces. So last class I have seen I showed you what is the first fundamental form, and in today's class what we are going to do is using this first fundamental form, we are going to define this the notion of these isometries and angle preserving maps, which generally we talk inside Rn. So that we will define it for surfaces. So let us see that. So first one, this map is called isometry. So in general, we don't have a straight line distance between surfaces. So what we defined in previous class is arc length. So the notion of isometry is any map which preserve the arc lengths. So that is what is the definition. So let me just start with that. Okay. Right. So what we are going to see is we are going to see these isometries of sorry, isometries of surfaces. So this book, it gave very nice description for isometries of surfaces. What it said is you take a one surface and wrap it around the another surface. If you could wrap it without crumbling, then it is called isometry. So like for instance, if you remember when we took the cylinder and we took that piece of, I mean, we took a plane and then we wrapped around the cylinder, which was that local diffeomorphism which we saw earlier. So those kind of maps we are looking at for isometries. Okay, so we have, what is our definition is a smooth map F. So what is our definition is, let me write it. So if S1 and S2 are two surfaces and there is a smooth map between S1 to S2, this is called local isometry. If it's called local isometry if gamma 1 is a curve on S1, you look at F of gamma 1, this is a curve on S2. So what we want is we want length of S1, length of gamma 1 will be same as that of the equal to length of gamma 2. Okay, so that is what is the definition of isometry. I mean, I wrote it down in those notes precisely. I'll anyway share with you. So this is called local isometry. And suppose if you are, and whenever we have local isometry between two surfaces, we say that S1 and S2 are locally isometric. Okay, so in this case, we will call S1 and S2 are locally isometric. So surfaces themselves are called locally isometric if it is possible to give between them. Okay, and if local isometry is diffeomorphism, we will call it is an isometry. Okay, so a local isometry that is diffeomorphism is called isometry. So injectivity in that case would be lost. Like for example, you remember case of a cylinder. In that case, when we were wrapping the entire plane to the cylinder, it was not a diffeomorphy, it was just a local diffeomorphism. So in that case, it will be just local isometric, not a isometric. So now actually, but these criteria is very difficult to check. Like I can't keep on checking that for every curve your lengths are same. So we have to actually find out another criteria which will be usable. That means which will be easier to calculate and easier to use, so that we can verify whether certain maps are isometric. And those are given by very simple this fundamental form. But for fundamental form, if you remember, everything we did was actually it was about the tangent space. So now actually let us see how tangent space and the first fundamental form help us to give another criteria for isometry, which is much more easier to check. Okay, so for that actually let me just first give you some notations. So what we will do is here what we have is we have our function f, which is what we have is we have our function f from s1 to s2, right? Let us fix our point p belongs to s1, and then we have f of p which is belongs to s2. Then in this case, do you remember we have this linear map d p of f from tp s1 to tp of s tf of p of s2? Do you remember this differential which we defined earlier? So these are actually both of them are subspaces, two-dimensional subspaces of R3, and we had this linear map which we defined earlier. So now actually using this linear map, we are going to define one symmetric bilinear form on TPS. See, already remember that on sorry. Already on TPS1, like on this tangent space, we have a one bilinear form, which is the usual bilinear form coming from R3. But now we are going to define another one. Okay, so how to define this? So you define this F star, we will denote it by F star, and it is at a P, so we can denote it by from P. So this is a bilinear form, so it should be a map from TPS cross TPS to R, right? And how this is defined? Suppose if I have a V and W, these are vectors inside. I'm just for only for this place I'm defining this, or let me just avoid this. Okay. So suppose if I take a tangents vector at TPS S1, sorry, and W at TPS1, then I'll define this inner product in this bilinear form to be dpf of V, comma dpf of W. Okay, and now where this is going, this is inside a tf of p of s2, right? This is a tangent space of s2 at a point f of p, so this will be at f of p, if you recall the notation. Okay, so this is a usual inner product on R3. So can you see that why this is symmetric bilinear form? Is this symmetric bilinear form? Is it bilinear? Do you know what is the definition of bilinear?
Yes, ma'am.
So is this a bilinear?
Yes, ma'am, because
Why?
DP is linear.
Right,
and,
good.
And the inner product is usually inner product of R3.
Right. So usually we know that is correct, Swaroop. So usually inner products are bilinear, and then DPF that itself is a linear, and it is like again it is a linear product of a linear map. So they are going to be a bilinear, and inner product is also a bilinear, and symmetry also, because inner product is symmetry. So because of that, this is actually a symmetric bilinear form. So now we have a two bilinear form on TPS. One is a usual bilinear form, and another is given by F star of this. Okay, so now actually here whenever this if our map F is isometry, if and only if this symmetric bilinear form, they will be equal. Okay, so that is a criteria. So it is very easy criteria to verify. Okay, so let me give you that criteria. So our criteria is if these two bilinear forms are same, then in that case we will it proves that F is isometry. Okay, so let me give you that theorem. So what is the statement is a smooth map F from S1 to S2 is local isometry if and only if this F star is equal to on TPS. So for all vectors, this should be equal, okay? For all P belongs to S. And this is much more easier to check, right? I mean, if these criteria rather than checking for every curve. So can you see why this is true? Let us see actually proof of this quickly. So in this case, what we have to do is, if I want to show such a kind of thing, is what we have to do is, first thing is, suppose in case our two bilinear forms are, okay, if okay, sorry. So suppose if my function is, what is that, isometry, then why this is true? Can you see this? Suppose if S1 to S2, this is local isometry is given to me. Then what I need to show that, I need to show that these two forms are equal, right? So let me just write it, this thing. And what do you know about a bilinear form actually? If bilinear form always give norms, right? Is that okay? Because we can define norm of, norm with respect to these to be. Sorry. See what? Okay, so what we are going to show is that we will first show that for all V belongs to this TP of S1, we will show that F star of V comma V, this is equal to V comma V. Okay, this is what we will show first, and then later we will actually see why, if I take any vector, that condition satisfy. So for these actually what we have is, we have F is given to be local isometry. So local isometry and tangent vector, how they are related? Local isometry is about the curves, and vectors are about in the tangent space. But what is the definition of every vector is, do you remember? For every vector, V is actually a tangent of some curve, right? You remember that? So what is V is actually, so that means there exists some curve gamma, and inside your S1, search that gamma dot is equal to V. You remember this?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So now actually, now when I know this, if I want to see what is the, so what is this V comma V is, this is going to be integration. Okay, so this is actually this gamma dot of T times gamma dot of T, right? So if I want to prove actually this, and okay, and another thing is actually, what about F star of V? So this is by definition is, what is this? This is dp f of V comma dp f of V, right? So what is a dp f of V? Do you remember actually? This is how this map works. If this is a curve for V, then you have to look at FO gamma. This will be a curve inside S2, right? And then if you look at FO dot, then this is precisely a definition of dp f of V. You remember this?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So now actually, if I want to calculate this F star of, okay, so F star of VV, this is equal to FO gamma dot of T and FO gamma dot of T. Okay, so I need to show this, but what already we know, actually we know about our this is local isometry. So because of that, I know that length of gamma, that is equal to, so what I know actually, length of this gamma, that is equal to length of FO gamma, right? This is by definition of, sorry, this is a definition of local isometry. So what is the length of gamma is? What is the definition of length of gamma? Do you remember this definition of length of gamma is?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, so this is equal, right? So length of gamma is this and length of gamma is F0 comma dot. You need to take a dot and you have to integrate, right? So we have these and both of them are positive integral, right? So what is this actually implies that? This will implies that gamma gamma dot this, okay, I can just take a square of this, right? So what I know actually because of this will imply that integrand is equal, right? So this is equal to F0. Is this clear to all of you? Other than Swarup, I am not able to hear any noise. Pooja, is this clear? Last time, yesterday's class, you were there, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember this length of gamma formula? We calculated
Yes,
some
yes.
length of curves, right? So this is okay, right? If to see these are usual integrals. If they are equal on the same, we have this alpha, beta, both of them are positive integrals. So we will get this, right? You agree with this, right? So this is precisely this condition which we required, right? Because gamma dot is precisely V. That is how we started it. So we got actually what we got it finally, these two are equal. But now actually, but what is our aim is to show that we want to show that for every two vectors V and W belongs to TP of S1, I need to show that F star of V comma W, this is equal to V comma W. How we will show this now? This is given to me. Can you show this? See, now here VV was equal. Now actually I have a V and W, they are different. So in this case, how to show this equality? Devi, can you say something? Devi is there or
F
not
star V comma
Ah.
W is equal to DP F V DP F W.
हाँ.
DP F V के जगह हम gamma dot F compose gamma dot.
लेकिन उससे कुछ होगा क्या? I mean, see, you don't we don't need to again do the same thing. So you have to just use a
Yes,
bilinear property of this. So any idea? Srinanda, Devi, is Priyanka there today? Mahanshi, anybody? Yeah, those, I mean, anyone who is here. Samira was here. Samira, no, sorry, not Samira actually. Okay. See, Swarup, can you tell me what we will do now? Actually, if I have a VW with two different vectors, do you have any idea what to do? See, you people just take a V minus W, right? I mean, suppose if you take a V minus W, these two vectors belongs to again a vector space. Do you agree that? V and W, both of them are suppose tangent vector, then Bu minus W is also belongs to TP, I mean, because it is vector space, right? So what can you say about this? Because you just put now here, this is standard thing, we used to do it, I think, in your usual courses. So now actually what is since now these are two vectors are equal, what you will get it, you will get this. Is that okay? What is this? This is equal to V minus W and V minus W. Do you agree with me? Because this is true for all P, right? So now actually now what we know about these things, both of them are bilinear symmetrics, right? So what you get from here? You get a F star of VV minus 2 times F star of, actually you can take a plus also, you don't need minus sign, plus V W plus F star of WW. Is that okay? I'm just using bilinearity of this F star. And you use the bilinearity of your usual inner product. Then what you will get it? Is this okay?
Okay, ma'am.
And now actually these two will get cancelled, right? These and the 2 also, we are in the real numbers, so we can cancel 2 also. And what you get it? You get it for everyone.
F star VW is equal to VW.
Right. So once you do the calculation, na Pooja, you don't need to go back to again a curves. Okay, we can just use this. So this shows what actually, this shows that if it is a local isometry, then this inner product agrees. What about converse? Converse is immediately over here. Do I need to prove converse? Can you see converse is immediate now? Suppose if this f star of VV is equal to VV, then in that case, you get the same thing, right? I mean, then you essentially, you will, because of this thing, you will get it. Do you agree with me that converse is immediate?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. So now actually you got one criteria which is much more easier to check than that of I mean, we have to just check because DPF, it has a very nice form. You remember that you have to just multiply by Jacobian and those kind of thing. If you do, just look at that. If if that preserves your the symmetric bilinear form, then you get a isometry. Okay, that is how we will check. But now actually, if you look at the symmetric bilinear form, it has the relation with fundamental form, right? What is the relation? Do you remember? Sorry. Oh, sorry. So let me write down actually next corollary, which is immediate corollary because of a definition of fundamental form. So let me just write it down. Okay. So what is this corollary says that if you have a local diffeomorphism, F from S1 to S2, this is a local isometry. If and only if for every surface, for any or for every surface patch, sigma of S1, the surface patch sigma, some surface patches sigma 1 and FO sigma 1. So this is a surface patch on S1, this is a surface patch on S2, have the same fundamental form. I'm not proving this here, but it is very easy to check it. Okay, if you write down definition of fundamental form, if you remember, then it will directly follow. Okay, so I'll just give you one example for this actually, and for the proof you refer to the book. Okay, but it is very easy. In fact, don't even refer to book. I'll advise you to write it down, and then you will get a proof immediately. Okay, because the definition of fundamental form is just comes in the exactly the form of that norm which we wrote it. Okay. So let us actually see one example so that things will be little clear to us. So do you remember this map which I defined from YZ plane? So this is this YZ plane to unit unit sphere, unit cylinder. So what was that map actually? If you remember 0 YZ, you sent it to cos Y, sin Y and Z. You remember this map now? Many times we have defined this map and we know that this is local diffeomorphism. We proved it already, right? This part we have already shown. So now actually what we have to, so our claim is that this is also isometry, okay? So for isometry, what we have to do is we have to show that first fundamental form of surface patch will go to the, and both of their fundamental forms will be same. So for that actually you remember, I mean, I'll take only one surface patch, you check it for all surface patches, okay? So what was that surface patch we took it? We took this 0 to pi cross R. And how it was going here? It was going as a y comma z goes to y comma 0 y comma z, right? You remember this? And for here, what was our surface patch was 0 2 pi cross r. How it was going? You remember how it was going? Cos y, sin y, z. You remember this? This is my sigma patch and this is my another sigma patch. But if you take a FO sigma, this is because this is same only, na? Do you remember this? All of you,
Yes, ma'am.
right? So and see, this is that time I defined as like I think as theta comma h I wrote it, and I wrote it as a cos theta, then sin theta and h. That is how I wrote it. But look at here, actually this part is the same as that of this part, right? And if I compose this map is the same as that of a FO sigma, and that is how we want it in our this corollary. What is what we are saying is that the surface patch sigma and FO sigma, they should be a surface patches on S1 and S2. So that's why I wrote it in this form. So now actually for this surface patch, can you find a fundamental form? What is the first fundamental form for this sigma? Can you tell me? Srinanda, you were also there. Na? Can you tell me how to calculate this first fundamental form?
Sigma u was
Yeah, but here do you have a u here? What we have?
a sigma y.
So what you have a sigma y. So what is the sigma y here? Can you tell me?
0, 1, 0.
Right, correct. Sigma z?
0, 0, 1.
Right. So what is our E is? What is E?
Sigma y, normal sigma y square, that is
Right.
1.
Which is, and what is, this is G, right? What is G is?
0.
Okay, that is F
no,
actually.
F is 0 and G is 1.
That is correct. Good. Okay, so now actually in this case, what you get it? So because of that, what is our first fundamental form is? E type, yeah, this is right. Right. So Pooja, can you tell me what is the first fundamental form of FO sigma here? Pooja?
Yes, ma'am.
Do-
Du square plus f square dv square.
No, what? Sorry, you tell me in terms of y and z, na? Because now we don't have uv. What we have is we have a y and z. See, that time our variables was u and v. Now our variables are what actually y and z. So
Sin y, cos y, z,
okay,
f of
okay,
sigma
wait.
y, f of sigma z.
Okay, so you are saying what this cos y it will be? No,
Minus
what is
sin y, cos y,
minus sin.
Minus
Right,
y,
correct.
cos y 0.
That is correct. Okay. Is this correct?
Yes.
Right.
E
So now
is
actually
equal to 1, G is equal to 1, F is equal to 0.
Right, correct. So again, what we got it? We got a dy square plus
dy
dz square, right?
plus dz square. Yes, ma'am.
So we got actually these and these are same, right? So because of that, if you use that above corollary, what we got is this map is a local isometry. Is this correct? Do you know now how to check it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you have to essentially write it down. Okay, another way of looking at this, do you remember we saw last time surface of revolution is there? Then in that case, what is the fundamental form? You remember? If you have a surface of revolution, then so is our this cylinder, is it surface of revolution?
Yes.
Yes,
How you get it? So what is our curve is in xz plane? Swaroop, can you tell me what is this curve is? Line, right. So what is that line is? 1, 0 and z, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So now actually, if you remember, so this is our that f of u was there, right? I mean, at that time. So in that case also what we write it here, actually we have a y and z, those are the coordinate, but you remember it was actually dy square plus
dz
f
square.
So now
F
actually
is
that
equal
is
to 1.
1. So you will get actually dz square. So that is also direct way of looking at it. Okay, that's what I'm just saying. Okay, So yeah, so I'm just giving you how to check, how to find actually the fundamental form and how actually check it isometry. Okay. So in this book, there is another thing which he is keep on checking is it's called actually, see, always what we try to do is we try to form a new surfaces in a different method. So he is actually giving another surfaces which you can actually form. So we already in 5th chapter I was telling you that we get so do you remember in 5th chapter how we got a surfaces in that first section? We looked at a level sets. You remember that? How we get a level sets? How we get a cylinder actually? Cylinder was a zero set of what polynomial?
X square plus y square minus 1.
Yeah, x square plus y square plus z square minus 1. That is how we get a sphere. Now, those kind of things are this level set. Second was what actually you look at a quadratic equation in x and y, and then actually you find out some set. Then third thing what we did was this revolution we did. Then another thing we looked at was the ruled surfaces. So similarly, there is another way of constructing new surfaces is there, which is called tangent developables. So let me tell you quickly that, and for that actually we will also calculate this first fundamental form. Okay. So this is a new example which we earlier did not discuss. So let me just give you that example so that you kind of can read that. So for this example, what we do is, so this thing is called a tangent developable. So this is the union of tangent line to a curve. So what we do is we take actually a curve in R3 surface, and then what we do is we take a tangent to each of those points. Okay. So what we assume is, so suppose gamma is my curve inside R3. Okay. So gamma is somewhere actually, I don't know. I mean, it is going inside R3. That's what we know. So we will send u to gamma of u. Okay. Inside R3. So this is my some curve is given to me. And then what we are, and we'll just put some construction constraints so that calculations will be easier. So we will assume that this curve has a unit speed. So what is the unit speed means? If I take a norm of this u, that is equal to 1. Okay. And then what we are going to do is, for every this point, we are going to attach a tangent. Okay. So you just look at a tangent line to all these points. And we are just going to take their union. Okay. So, and whatever is formed, that is called actually this tangent developable curve. So can you tell me now what will be the points on this actually? So first place, let us write down a parameterization. Okay. So how this surface curve will come? This will be from alpha beta, which is the gamma's domain of gamma. Then since we need the entire line R, we will get actually R. And from here to R3, how we will define is, we will say take a u comma v and we will send it to gamma u plus v times gamma dot of u. See, what is the gamma dot of u? This is a tangent, right? But whenever you take a tangent, it will go to the tangent line is always, it goes through the origin. But we want a tangent at a point our gamma u, so we have to add this. Is this okay for you, all of you? If I take any point on the tangent line, it will look like this. Is this okay? Sarup, is this fine?
No, ma'am, I'm a bit confused here.
See, if I take a curve, what is the tangent equation of the tangent line? I mean, any point, suppose if I take a point over here, so what is actually, what is this line? This is a tangent line, right? So how you calculate tangent? Tangent is gamma dot, right? Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Right. So we are going to take it as a unit tangent. So it will be only one unit here, right? So it won't, it is one vector only, but I want the entire tangent line. So how the entire tangent line, and another thing is, see, when you see a tangent space or a tangent line, all of them passes through 0, right? Because they are vector spaces. Do you agree with that? See,
Yes, ma'am.
But what we are going to do is when we, but if you remember, if you see, even if you look at a sphere and so on, when we draw a tangent, we draw a tangent plane at that point, right? We don't take it crosses through 0. We don't take it. You remember, you remember these diagrams, seeing these diagrams?
Yes, ma'am.
So if you consider them inside R3, then they are not a subspaces, right? Because they are not passing through 0. Do you agree with me?
Yes, ma'am. So we need to rescale it,
Not rescale. We need to
translate it.
yeah, we need to translate it. So this is a translation. Is that okay now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, got it.
Okay. Okay, so so this is actually our any point on the tangent line that will look like this. So this is my actually a surface patch. But if I want a surface patch to give a smooth surface, what I need to check? We need to check a regularity, right? This is a smooth that is clear, right? Because we start with our curve gamma as a smooth. Okay. So because of that, this is going to be smooth, but it need to be regular. So for regularity, what is the regularity condition? What is the regularity condition, Devi? Is Devi there? I don't know. Anybody wants to tell me actually what is this surface, how to check a regularity?
Sigma u and sigma v must be linearly independent.
Right. So, okay, 1 sec. Right. So what is the sigma u? Can you tell me? So here sigma u will be gamma dot of
Gamma
u,
dot u.
Plus v double
plus
dot.
v double dot of u, right? And what is this actually v double dot of u? Yeah, I mean, not exactly v double dot, but v double dot gives what actually you must have learned in last
Normal.
sections.
Normal.
Normal or curve. It is related to curvature, right? What is the
Yes,
curvature of a curve? If you take a
Norm
norm of this will give me curvature, right? Right. Okay. And now actually what is the gamma v is? Gamma v will be just a gamma dot of u, right? And if I want now these two curves to be, regular, what we need is condition is we need actually to see whether these two are linearly independent, right? So let me actually, before that, let me just do one calculation. See, this is given to me, right? So what is the meaning of this thing is gamma dot of u is equal to 1. So if you differentiate this again with respect to u, what you will get it? See, if you differentiate this again, what you get it here?
Gamma dot u dot gamma double dot 2 into gamma dot double dot equal to 0.
0. That is correct. So that means if you look at this gamma dot and gamma double dot, they are perpendicular to each other. Do you agree with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Right. So now suppose if I want to look at this and another thing, what, okay, I think that is what is enough for us. Okay. So let us look at actually this sigma u cross sigma v. What is this? Okay. What is this cross product? See, this is a gamma dot of u. So this will become 0, right? So I'll get a v times gamma dot of u cross gamma double dot of u, right? See, is this okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Their cross product. And see, these two are actually perpendicular to each other, right? Okay, so we need actually sigma to be regular also, okay? And another thing actually, if we look at here, for the regularity of our surfaces, this part, if v is equal to 0, then we are not, it won't be regular, right? So what we have to do is, if I want to do first condition, what I need now 2-3 condition. One is we want actually this curvature to be not equal to 0, because if, see, gamma dot of u is not going to be 0 at any time, right? Because its norm is 1. So I know that gamma dot u is never 0, but I don't know about curvature. So I need to put a condition that gamma double dot of u is not equal to 0. Okay. So these two conditions which we need, and for that actually we have to assume our curvature to be either positive or negative. You understand this? Because since gamma double dot of u is either it is not going to be 0, it will be never either positive or negative. Okay. You understand this, right? Because we want it to be always. So what we will do is we will assume actually these to be always positive. Do I need that? Okay, I don't know actually. Probably. Okay, this is non-zero. That is what I need. And what is curvature? Did I write somewhere curvature? Okay, I wrote a curvature over here, right? So this curvature is always strictly greater than 0. That is what we needed from our curve. Okay, and v is not equal. Suppose if v is equal to 0, what will happen? Can you tell me? When v is equal to 0?
Sigma will not be regular.
No, see, okay, that is there, but so we have to avoid that, right? But if you want to avoid this, those points will be precisely on the curve, right? See, these points will be precisely on the curve. So when we are taking this surface, tangent developable surface, first thing we will do is we will remove the curve from the entire surface. Okay, that's what we are going. So sorry, I somehow they got the cold and it is just not going. Yeah. So so remember that if you want this tangent developable curve, in that case, first thing what we do is we remove the curve from there, and then actually we just take those tangent planes. Okay, that is what is our curve. So, and what another thing which we need is we need curvature to be strictly greater than 0 for all the points. Those are all our conditions. Okay. So suppose if we assume all these conditions holds, then what is the first fundamental form? Can you tell me now? So for first fundamental form, what we do is we need E to be, we have to calculate E. What is E is? Sigma u square, right? So what is the sigma u square is? That is a norm of this. So what is the norm of this? Can you calculate norm of this? You tell me actually, I'm just writing here, but this will be norm of this thing, right? But what is the norm of this thing? We are assuming is this to be 1, right? And then this gamma and gamma double dot, they are perpendicular to each other. So that part will go 0 and plus v times norm of gamma double dot of u square, right? So you get these to be 1 plus v times k square. Okay, v square times k square. And what is f is? F is a dot product of this. So what is the dot product of this is? Along with this is 0. So you will get a norm of gamma dot of u, which is square, which is 1. And what is g is? G is again 1. Okay. So what is our first fundamental form for this is?
One plus v square into du square plus du dv, 2 into du
Right.
dv plus dv square.
That is correct. Okay. So, and actually now what happens is one can actually show that we can take another parameterization of open subset of plane, and one can show that there exists another surface patch which also gives the same fundamental form. So one can actually show that this is also isometric to that of a plane. So that is actually, I think, one of our exercise. Okay, we will do that. Or I don't know, but actually it is there in that book. You just check it. Okay. So this is all about the isometry. So do you understand now what is isometry is? So here actually I'll just keep one exercise for you. So you can actually find one map from plane open subset of plane, some plane inside R3. To open subset of plane is again going to be actually a surface. You remember that, na? To this the tangent developable this is going to be same as that of a fundamental form for this. Okay. This. And because of that, actually, one can say that these two are isomer. So we can say that these are also isometric. Okay. They look quite different, but they are also isometric. Okay. So now actually, so this is about distances. So after distance, what other thing which we learn actually in general, what is the important geometric quantity which we know?
Angle.
Right. What we get, we learn is actually angles, right? So now what we want to do is we want to actually look at all those maps which are angle preserving also. But to define something which is angle preserving, what we have to first see is what do you mean by angle? And and then we define angle between them. Now actually straight line on the surfaces, right? So for instance, if I have a sphere, what do you mean by straight line there? So what we are going to do is we are going to define angle between two curves. So how to define angle between two curves? I think you do angle between two curves, right? Did you do in the first unit? Angle between curves? Anyway, I'm going to define it, so it is okay. Do you do angle between curves? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Cos inverse of gamma dot gamma
Okay.
tilde dot by.
Okay, correct. So you know that, right? So that is what actually here also, that is the same thing. So yes, it is precisely the same thing. Okay. So what we are going to do is we are going to write this formula for in terms of what you call in terms of first fundamental form. Okay. So what we have to do is, so in general, what happens is, suppose S is a surface, and let us take a P is a point on that surface, and let us take a two curves, gamma and gamma tilde, be two curves. And both of these curves, they are passing through a same point, okay? And intersect P, okay? So then actually by definition, the angle theta of this intersection intersection of this gamma and gamma tilde at P. This is what we are going to define it. So this is this is defined to be the angle between tangent, okay? The tangent vector. It is same thing, whatever you said, the same thing. Tangent vectors, gamma dot of T naught. Okay, so as you said, it is a cos theta of, what we have to do is we have to take this dot product divided by normal. Now, what actually we know about these gamma dots? So suppose if we fix a surface patch, then we can write it into the first fundamental form, right? So suppose if sigma is this from U to S be a surface patch,
Probably speaker is disconnected.
Yes, I think so.
So all the people who are attending today they have some classes also from their institute, because strength is quite less. So if people are doing some code.
Right. Right. I don't remember when I wrote down this thing for you. Or maybe now actually we have another 15 minutes. And I'll just go through certain, summary of this thing. Okay. Let me just, we have another 15 minutes only, right? Oh, we just have 3 minutes, is it? We
Yes,
started at. Oh, I was thinking it is 4:45. Yesterday's my class was 4:45, right? Okay. Let me just quickly give a summary. Yeah. Okay. Right. So let me just actually tell you about all the things which is done into this thing. So see, we discuss now local isometries, right? So what are these functions? I'm just summarizing now whatever is there into that six chapter. Okay. So let me just tell you what is this. So if S is a surface, and what we are doing is we are looking at this. These are the standard notations. You are familiar with this, right? Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So just now we discussed about the local isometries. That means the one which is preserves the length of a curve. Second, which as I was telling you just now about conformal morphs, that means they preserve the angle between two curves. And you already know what is the angle between two curves. Means what you have to do is you have to look at curves, and then you look at a tangent at their intersection point and look at angle between them. Because we know actually how we calculate an angle in general is, for angle we need a straight lines, right? So if I have a curve, how to get a straight line is we look at their tangents, and then whatever is their angle, that is what is our angle. And angle preserving maps are called conformal maps. Okay. And what is the equiareal maps are where actually area is being preserved. Okay. So these are these three types of maps which preserve different things. So just now we have so this we saw in last class. So what was actually this thing is actually the formula for the length of a gamma, right? You are able to see this clearly?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So when I have a curve gamma, what is the length of a gamma? It was integration of norm of this gamma dot of t, right? Now actually what is the formula is this, Pooja said it correctly. So cos theta is equal to gamma dot tilde dot, because this gamma and gamma tilde, these are our two curves are there. And then actually divided by its norms, look at its cos inverse of that will give me a theta. Okay. And what about area? Area is always given by this we remember, this was our that n sigma, you remember this, the norm. So you look at a norm, and if you integrate it, this R is a some region over the surface, because you can't just take a area of the entire surface sometimes. Like for example, if I have a plane, it will be infinite. So suppose if you want to look at a smaller area in the region, what is the formula is given by? It is the integration of norm, you take it and look at its double integral. Here, though I wrote it a single integral, remember that it is a double integral. Okay. It is over R. And now actually what another thing we have seen it, we saw what is the formula in terms of first fundamental form. You remember this last class, we have seen this, how to calculate curve in terms of first fundamental form. You remember this formula?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. And for the cos theta also, what will happen is actually here now this table was small, so I have to write it like this. So what you have to do is, what is this gamma dot is? Gamma dot is given by, if you remember this formula was, what was actually gamma dot? How did we write it? We wrote it as a what was that actually? Gamma dot, we write it as a du times this u dot, right? Plus U2, sorry, du times sigma u plus, okay, not, we don't write a du also. Let me write it as a u dot times sigma u and v dot times sigma v. You remember this? What is the gamma dot is? And what is the gamma tilde dot? It will be u dot tilde and times sigma u plus v tilde dot sigma v. So if you put it here, then you will, and if you substitute it into this formula, which you wrote it down here, sorry. So if you write that formula here, if you substitute that formula precisely here, what formula you will get it? This one, the one which I wrote it here. Okay. And for area also, if you check this sigma u cross sigma v, you will get this formula. Okay. So this is what is the formula in terms of first fundamental form. This is in general. This is what actually, this is length formula, this is angle formula, and this is the area formula. Okay, we are not talking about yet how to see the preserving. Okay, so now what is the definition of isometry is? Isometry means length is preserved. So suppose if you have a function f from s1 to s2, what is the meaning of map which is isometry means? It will preserve the lengths. What is the definition of conformal map means? It is a local diffeomorphism you need, and plus we need an angle between two curves. They remain the same. Okay, and a local diffeomorphism where area of a region remain the same after after looking at its image under F, then we will call it as a local diffeomorphism. Okay. And if you do you remember just now I did this? So local isometry is if and only if this symmetric bilinear form, this is equal to this form. Is this okay? Just now we proved it, right? And equivalent thing for conformal map is f star of this v comma w is may not be equal, but it is a lambda times p. Okay. So what is this? This is a lambda, where lambda is some smooth map. So it is in the proportion. Okay, that is what it is. Some constant times your other form. So that is what is there. Here we don't have anything. And what is the example over here? This example we just now we discussed, right? You remember this example of isometry we just now we discussed. And here actually what happened is that stereographic projection, which we generally see, that is actually a conformal map. So in our tutorial, we are going to see this. Okay. And in the sixth section, he is talking about Archimedean one example where he showed that sphere and unit cylinder, they are actually, they preserve some area. So that example he did, but anyway, we did not have a time, so I did not talk about it. And in terms of fundamental form, what is actually the equivalence of isometry is, if you have an isometry, then first form, fundamental forms are equal. This we checked it just now, right? You remember? Just now we checked this. In case of conformal map, what you need is you need them to be proportion. And in case of equiareal, what we need is you need this equation to be satisfied. E1 G1 minus F1 square is equal to E2 G2 times F2 square. Okay. So this is all is a summary of section 6.2, 6.3 and 6.4. Okay. I'll stop now actually, and then I'll stop now, Satya. If you have any doubt or something, you can ask me.